My dear students, I will show you a sample of Old English language and I will discuss with you its features by pointing out certain semantic, syntactic, lexical, morphological features, etc. present in that text. I hope by the end of this session you would have some hands-on experience of identifying certain features present in Old English language. Here on the screen, now you can see a text. All the text that is given in black might look very strange to you. I would like you to try to read it, though I am sure it is very, very difficult to read. I would also like you to notice certain morphological features of this text. I would point out some for you on the screen. So, for example, notice. Also notice. Notice this. Notice this. We do not find these signs, these morphological representations in modern English. We do not write it like that. Notice this. Also notice this and here. See the variety here. Notice the variety here, and by the way, here and here as well. I hope as I would translate it into, or I would present a transcription of it in a modern form of English, it would be easier for you to appreciate the text. So I'll take you to the modern form of this text. I hope this sounds less unfamiliar now. You can read it and you can understand what it means. Please, let us see what it says. Brethwood spoke, lifted his shield. He was an old retainer, shook his ash. Ash, by the way, is a kind of a spear. He full-boldly exhorted the warriors. Mind must be the firmer, heart the more valiant. Courage must be the greater, as our strength diminishes. And so on and so forth. The rest of the part of the text continues and goes on. For a second, focus on the first line only. Brethwood spoke, lifted his shield. Now you know what it is. I'm taking you back to the previous slide to see the original Old English text. Please notice this part in parentheses. Brethwood spoke, lifted his shield. Lifted his shield. So how much difference on the morphological level has come. And by the way, on, of course, the phonological level as well, though we do not have any, recorded instances of how phonology was used in those times. There are certain things, my dear students, that I hope you would have noticed about this passage. A, the passage is highly formal. It has parallel phrases as it moves on, and there are a lot of repetitions in this text. These repetitions were a syntactic style of Old English, where the text would exhibit it that certain parts or certain words would be repeated. I would again take you back to the previous slide of the text to show you that. If you look at the text again, you would notice how it happens. Please compare these two lines of this text with their translation into the modern form. He was an old retainer, shook his spear. He full boldly exhorted the warriors. So, this repetition, he did this and he did that, this repetitive use of he is not generally used as we do it in modern English. So, you would have noticed the text has its marked diction, particular kind of vocabulary as well. To talk about vocabulary, I would say the text opens with a very formulaic phrase, so and so spoke so. As it used to be told in olden stories, in old-time stories. So this person said this to that person. The text starts with that, with the name of a person who said something to the other person. This is how the narrative is given. The stock of conventional poetic diction was very large in this text because of the need for alliteration. The rhyming sounds at the end of the poem for that purpose. There were numerous words I hope you would have noticed in the text. So, for example, for the modern word warrior, as it is used in Old English in this text, born in the passage. So, for weapons, for example, you would have noticed the use of the particular word. You also would have noticed for horse, ship, prince, etc., how a lot of typical traditional vocabulary, conventional poetic vocabulary was used so that rhyming and alliteration could be created. There were certain descriptive compounds that were used as well. We can notice, as a matter of fact, those compounds in other works of the Old English times. For example, in Beowulf, the sea is called Swan Road. This is the modern English form, Swan Road. So these descriptive compounds, a compound of two words brought together would be made, swan and road. And why they would be brought together? To describe actually something through that compound, to give an image in a way of that word. Some decorative periphrases were also used. For example, the king would be called Begabreta, that is the king of the giver of rings, and also, for example, Singrefa, for example, giver of treasure. So, elaborative descriptive compounds would be used to give some particular meaning. In this example, for example, that you have already seen, this is the same text, I would like you to notice this word. This is a poetic compound, and here actually it means battle. मैं इसको करूँगी और फिर मैं अगली पे चली जाऊँगी, ठीक है? So, my dear students, this was a hands-on experience of examining and analyzing an Old English language text. I hope you enjoyed that.